Okay, so I know this is not my usual intro or filming spot or anything, but I wanted to show off this chair. I can't tell how I feel about it yet. It's kind of so ugly it's good. I'm not sure. It was free, so I'll take it. Nope, take shoes off. Nothing about this filming situation right now is ideal, but it's the time I've got. Okay, so we've got another dog living with us now. Her name is Minnie. I want you to pause and comment what you think it's short for. No, it is not short for Minnie Mouse. Hey Minnie, come here. Minnie, come here. Come say hi to the people. Yeah, hi. Yeah, it's Minnie. If you guessed minestrone soup, you are correct. I apologize in advance if the audio sucks. The dogs are playing, the neighbors have some music going, so we're just rolling with it. Hey, can you guys quiet down, please? Please, 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 please. Okay, or you just want to make out with your teeth. A couple quick life updates because I know I was gone for a while. The toxic partner moved out and my other ex's new partner is moving in. Don't knock the lamp over. My mom came and visited for a few days. We booked a cute little Airbnb up in the mountains. Everything was perfect. I've been talking with a longtime crush recently and kind of reconnecting, and so things are great. Also, I tried using, this is not going to autofocus because I don't have a camera that has autofocus, but I tried using nail glue for the first time and I'm obsessed. I don't know why anyone would ever use stickers, but anyways, let's get into tasteful fall decor. So one of my subscribers emailed me, hi Cole, and I don't think Cole said pronouns, but so Cole asked me to do a video kind of about tasteful fall decor. I'll just read their email. Cole said, "Hello, my partner and I discovered your videos a little while ago and love your style and insight. Your videos have helped inspire our space and make it into such a lovely space that we are proud to call home." Thank you for that. Fall, including spooky season, is mine and my partner's favorite time of the year. We absolutely love this time and we want to decorate our space, but do it in a tasteful way. And then in parentheses, I'm horribly drawn to the fall decor section at Walmart. Help. And then Cole said, "P.S. Not sure if you'd be at all interested or if anyone else has asked about this, but maybe this would be a cool video idea. Just a thought." So yes, Cole, very cool video idea. I somehow hadn't planned to do any fall decor because I kind of just have a running list of video ideas that are regardless of season. And so I was kind of just running with that, and I forgot that it was turning fall and that that's the thing that you have to do with content is make things relevant. So thanks, Cole, for reminding me. Oh, also I got this cute ass shirt. It's very vintage 90s thin sweatshirt vibes. It's got a lion on it, which I'm a Leo rising. I'm trying to bring out my Leo energy a little bit, and I'm obsessed with it. My mom bought it for me. It was a gift, and I'm obsessed with it. So before we actually get into the list of tasteful fall decor, I think we need to talk about the idea that our fall decor needs to be tasteful versus untasteful, I guess, because I do think that at least part of it is a very colonized way of thinking about things. Everything needs to be neutrals and aesthetic, and sometimes you just need to let yourself like kitschy things. That's okay. Especially when it comes to very specific holiday decor that you're only going to have out for maybe a month or so. And if you are, as Cole describes it, horribly drawn to the fall decor section at Walmart, I would recommend you look into vintage fall decor, because you can still get that fun kitschy factor, but it's not cheap plasticky brand new shit that's just gonna get thrown in the trash. And then if you keep it your Minnie, come here. Come here. Oh, hi. Blah, blah, blah. Hi. But I think what all of this really boils down to because I feel there's a huge subsection of the internet in particular, but just society in general, Western society, America specifically, that loves Halloween and loves fall, and I get it. I've got 1 foot in the door. And what I think we're all trying to get back to is a sense of childhood nostalgia and community and tradition, because if you grew up in a neighborhood in this country, you probably grew up putting on homemade costumes every, Halloween and running around from house to house. And at least for me, it was a very community oriented thing. All of the parents trusted the other parents. And I think because of the pandemic and everything, we've really been missing this sense of like communal celebration. And I think that fall and Halloween specifically is kind of a way to get back into that feeling and like really experience that kind of just pure joy that we did as kids. So I want to focus on that being like the main goalpost, if that makes sense, right? I want to focus on a feeling, a vibe, rather than specific decor. So instead of thinking about tasteful fall decor or any holiday decor in general as like white pumpkins and beige Christmas trees, I really want to try to focus on creating and curating a holistic, like all-encompassing vibe for the holiday, rather than just thinking about specific decor items. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Do you get... Stop eating the rug. Please. Mwah. Okay, so here are a few specific ways that I have figured out how to create that vibe. That is really the worst toy to be playing with right now, please. So here are some ways to create that vibe, rather than just, like, buying new stuff. I know I'm sitting in your chair. Yeah. So the first step is to figure out what vibe you want. Because I feel like there are so many, like, fall and autumn... You guys, really? Just gonna... What are you guys doing? Huh? You're gonna stop as soon as I point the camera at you? Yeah. Anyways, there are so many, like, fall and autumn vibes, and they're all, you know, within the same general realm, but they're all very distinct. Do you want a cozy vibe? Do you want a creepy vibe? Do you want a spooky vibe? Do you want an ethereal vibe? Maybe a witchy vibe? A more community-oriented vibe? Autumn harvest? There are so many ways to think about it, and I'm sure there are some that I've missed. Probably like a vintage, kitschy vibe, like I mentioned earlier. So figure out what you want. Don't knock my light over. Thanks for putting your butthole directly onto my knee. Yeah, I love you too. Yeah. Okay. This is my first time sitting in this chair, so I have not figured it out yet. So once you've figured out what your general vibe is, you need to figure out what your color scheme is. Because you could have a few different color schemes kind of within each of these. Please don't knock over my computer. If you're going for like Gilmore Girls vibes, you'll probably want more saturated like reds and oranges and yellows. Whereas if you want an autumn harvest vibe, you might want like slightly more muted versions of those colors, plus some green, maybe a little bit of brown. If you want a spooky vibe, you're probably gonna wanna go for deep muted like blues and purples and like a little bit of brown. If the audio sounds any different, it's because I had to move my computer microphone so that I could plug it in because it was at 7%. And if you want more ethereal, you'll probably want more like light grays and misty blues and silvers and stuff like that, which is kind of verging more towards winter. But if you use like specific fall greenery, you could definitely make it work. So if you are trying to do kind of like a kitschy vibe without going to Walmart, I would say choose probably a specific era, but more importantly, a specific color palette. And then kind of just like go ham. I don't know why I said go ham. I never say that in real life, ever. But you get the point. If you're gonna do vintage, just like pick a color scheme so that it feels cohesive, because that's really what you want. I think when people think about like tacky holiday decor, especially Halloween decor, it's because it all feels very disjointed and like not connected and not thoughtful and intentional. Instead of just purchasing things, think about where you want to put things and what types of things you want to put there, and then make it fit within your color scheme. I'm sure Etsy has all sorts of like vintage holiday decor. So yes, here's me officially giving you permission to buy kitschy home decor, specifically for holidays. Another idea that I really love, because it's free, it's not plastic, you don't have to buy anything, and that is locally sourced dried florals and greenery and branches. There are so many ways to style these. You can make a wreath, you can make a garland, you can make a swag, you can put them in a vase, you can like make an arrangement in a... oh, what's the word? I'll pop it up on screen. One of those like European like short fat thingy that you put like some flower foam into and make a whole arrangement that way. Whatever that's called. You could press them in some heavy books and frame them. You could hang them on a wall. Like there are so many options. And this might be kind of a strange thing because it's definitely less compostable and you do have to go buy something and it's not as good for the environment because it's an aerosol spray. But if you are trying to make something fit within your color scheme, consider spray painting it. This is actually a hack that like professional wedding florists use, because I worked at a professional wedding florist one summer, and every once in a while we would like spray berries or leaves or hydrangeas or anything like just a slightly different color, and it worked, and it didn't look as tacky as you would think it would. I think one of the most important things is to consider what type of lighting goes with your overall vibe, right? So if you're going for more of like a spooky, witchy vibe, you'll probably want black dripping taper candles in little brass candlestick holders. If you're going for cozy vibes, you'll probably want like fairy lights in a pumpkin or something like that. If you want to do more like autumn harvest, you'll probably want like a bunch of pillar candles that like look like they came out of, I don't know, like an old castle, like where they're all like misshapen and like dripping and like, you know, just pillar candles that look like they've been used. And then even just making sure that you have extra warm light bulbs in your lamps. And then I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a picture of this, but like just draping a vintage scarf over a table lamp. It can definitely make it cozier and moodier and vibier, and it's something to consider. Not for everyone, but okay, so this next one is textiles. Textiles of all sorts. I think that pillowcases and blankets are kind of like the most obvious ones that we tend to go for, because it's really easy to just like have a holiday themed pillowcase, put it on a pillow, and like call it a day. But I also want you to consider tablecloths, placemats, napkins, hand towels, curtains. Upstairs neighbors. There's at least 1 or 2 children, and also a dog upstairs. I know that much. But yeah, I feel like this is one of the most foolproof ways to bring in some holiday vibes in a way that can like be switched out super easily. Like some of these other things, like if you're going and collecting local dried grasses and florals and whatever, that can be a lot more time and energy intensive, especially if you're going to forage them yourself. But yeah, textiles are super easy to switch out, super low maintenance. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, so I don't remember what I was saying that before, but textiles. Textiles. One of my favorite things, especially if you live in a place where it's actually starting to get cold out, baking things. And I know I've mentioned this in other videos, but it's just such a vibe. Oh, gotta cover that up. But even if you literally just go buy some pre-made cookie dough, it really doesn't have to be a whole big ordeal. You can make it simple if you want, but just baking something, whether it's cookies or I specifically love a sweet bread, like a banana bread or a zucchini bread. Those are my favorites. Especially if you like do it with someone else and you like put on some cozy music and just like have a whole fun experience. That will change the energy in your home and it will make it feel more fall and autumn and cozy and like inviting. And bonus points if you actually share the baked goods with like your loved ones or your community or your people at work or, you know, whatever. Just like bringing baked goods and like bringing that fall and autumn vibe out to other people is always appreciated in my experience. For all of these other ones, I wrote out like at least a whole paragraph. And for this one, I just said art. Because I think art is one of those things like textiles that is so easy to switch out. This can be a really fun way to support small creators on Etsy, or especially local creators. Sometimes there are like, I think this is more of like a winter thing rather than a fall thing, but a lot of times I'll see little like makers, artists shows like pop up locally, and those are always really cute to go to. And especially if you're trying to like get some themed like holiday art, a lot of these spaces will have, you know, again, with the relevancy, they'll try to do things for the holidays. And then I didn't write this down, but I have specifically really been loving lino cuts and etchings, and I know there's another word that I'm blanking on right now that I'll try to pop up on the screen if I remember. It's very similar to lino cuts, but like not quite. Also kind of like woodblock prints, but that's not what I'm thinking of. What am I thinking of? Oh well, I'll pop it up here if I remember it. But yeah, just general art, right? If you get a print from someone, you can just like lean it against a wall, you can tape it up on a wall. If you have a frame that's like easy to switch out, you can, oh damn. I think I've been looking at my little screen over there this whole time instead of at the camera, so sorry about that. It's been a while since I filmed. But yeah, anyways, art. Easy to switch out, pretty low effort, good way to invest back into community, all of that. And then last but definitely not least, I want you to remember outdoor spaces. And this is probably a lot more obvious if you're like Halloween decor. Like a lot of times you think of like the big lawn ornaments and, you know, giant spider webs and stuff like that. And that stuff is fun and fine. It's tacky, but it's like intentionally tacky. It's camp is what it is. And if you're intentionally doing camp, that's fine. But a few other ideas. Obviously, mums and hay bales and pumpkins and corn stalks and all of that are classics for a reason. But if you're going for a spooky vibe, it would be really fun to like find some giant branches and stick them in a pot and spray paint them black. That would be really cute. Did you just fart in my face, Minnie? If you're gonna do spider webs, especially outside, inside too, but especially outside, try to find some that are 100% cotton instead of polyester or nylon or whatever random plasticky shit that they usually use. Because as I'm pretty sure we're all aware at this point, polyester is horrible for the environment. And especially if it's outside, it will get into the environment. So try to find cotton or some other natural material. I don't know how big of a market there is for that yet. So I don't know how much of that actually exists as like a product to buy. I know you can get just like cotton in like a big bag. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what you would like search to look it up. I'll put that here if I figure that out. But yeah, try to go for cotton over polyester. What you doing? Mwah. But yeah, if you want to do gravestones, use that space to like honor the names of the people that cops have killed recently, because colonial imperialist late stage capitalism will always win Halloween in the scariest real life horror genre. So I would definitely recommend making them yourself out of like old cardboard boxes. Super simple, free, using what you already have, recycling, upcycling, whatever. Oh, more kisses. More kisses. More bites. Yeah. That's it for this video. I realized a few minutes ago that I never actually introduced myself, so if you're new here, my name is Medora. I use they, them pronouns, and I make videos about home design for girls, gays, and theys. So if you're into that, make sure to like and comment and subscribe so that YouTube will actually show you my videos. And if you want to support this channel or get live one-on-one design sessions with me, go over to patreon.com/MedoraKia. I hope you have a cozy and spooky and most importantly safe fall, autumn, and especially Halloween time. So have a good day and bye. Ah.